I mean, it has been about a month since the last time I posted a video. I had a lot of like personal stuff going on before I started, working on this one. And when I did start working on it, I came across a problem that took me several days to fix. And so there is a lot of things in this video. I worked on a lot of things genuinely, like this took way longer than I thought it was gonna take, and that's part of the reason why this video is coming out so much later than the last one. But once I did start working on it again, I had the plan to basically make animations for the combat system. So that is what I started working on day one. I want to make some animations, so let's get to it. Now, day one was a pretty easy day. This day was all about learning how to animate and making my own animations. I tried doing it on Unreal Engine first because Unreal has its own kind of like animation software thing that you could use, but I did not find it very easy or intuitive. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and download Blender, because I already wanted to learn Blender anyways, since it's a really good skill to have for game development. So I said, fuck it, download that, and got to work on animating my first animations ever. I have literally no experience when it comes to animating. I'm pretty sure like this would have been done by a professional in about 10 minutes, but it took me hours. And really, the hardest part about animating, I think, was feeling like it was never good enough. Like, I would just constantly go back and try to make sure that things looked really good or like things looked realistic. It's kind of funny because each time I ended like a session of animation, I would always go like, oh, you know what? Like, this animation looks pretty good. Like, I think I kind of swagged on this one.
It's almost 4 in the morning. I spent a long time learning a little bit about animation. Honestly, I didn't really learn much. It's not like I watched a YouTube video or anything. I kind of just hopped in here and tried to figure it out. And honestly, it came out pretty fucking good. So check it out. It all starts with the first animation. Honestly, this is the first thing I did, and it needs a lot of work, but just bear with me, right? So, you start off in like this idle pose, and then boom, watch this.
And then the next time I got on, I'd realize, wow, this looks like actual dog water. Like, this looks like trash. And I'd have to go back and like revise it. Basically, I learned that you'd always want to have like cause and effect for each one of the muscles or like each one of the things you're moving. So for the first couple times of animating, I would kind of just move the parts that I thought would move when, for example, I threw a punch. But by the end, when I finished kind of fixing everything, I realized that, like you kind of have to move everything to get the result that looks realistic. And it took me a while to learn this, but by the end I did, and genuinely I think the animations that I made came out pretty good. Another reason this took long is because I came in with the idea that I was only going to make a punching animation. Like, that was all I was going to do is make a punching animation for my character, for the player. And this is where things started to go wrong.
All right, it is 7:30 a.m. and it's time. I really want to just get everything into Unreal Engine, and then that'll be the end. I promise. Let's just do that. Let's get started.
Now, once I put everything into Unreal Engine, I thought it was pretty straightforward. You had to just kind of get the animations, create this thing called like an enemy state, or just like an animation state, where it's kind of like a flow chart that you basically pick and choose the flow of animation. So for example, as you can see, it starts with an entry point, and in this entry point I put an enemy idle animation right after. So it starts the animation, and since the character is not doing anything, he has an idle animation, and that's where he stays. It just keeps looping and looping. Then after that, there are tons of places it can go, but for me and for this specific situation, I just added a enemy attack state. So from enemy idle to enemy hit, there needed to be a way for the program or Unreal to know that, okay, this enemy's hit trigger the hit animation. And this, like, just this part was so confusing for me. Like you kind of get it intuitively, like it makes sense. I bet like half of you that just heard that kind of like understood it right away. But like for me, it was like getting it to actually function took forever. You know, like I ended up with so many variables. So like an enemy hit variable, an enemy is dead variable, and then others. Honestly, I'd have to kind of look into it myself. Essentially, like, this is what took the most amount of time, because it's just like a lot of, you just kind of have to understand a lot about like how the blueprints work and like how they flow, which when I started doing this, I actually like really didn't understand fully. I mean, remember that I've only had about, 3 days of experience working on Unreal Engine. So I still didn't understand fully about how the blueprints work, the different colors for the nodes, that kind of stuff. It was just kind of like not really computing in my head. And this whole process of just kind of like figuring all of this shit out was probably the hardest thing I've done on Unreal Engine so far. There was just so many times where I felt like I didn't understand, like I didn't get it, And I'm a pretty stubborn person. Like I'm really big on just kind of learning things myself. I've never been one to like love being instructed or like have a teacher or something. Like I just like getting my hands in and figuring out stuff by whatever it is that excites me. So this was something that I was too stubborn to like look up a YouTube tutorial for. I just wanted to like figure it out. And thankfully I did end up figuring it out, but it came at the cost of this taking a very long time. A very long time. And this is where I introduce a 26-hour long recording that I made. Which brings us to day 3. Alright, I am finally back. I was gone for 2 days, so it's been 2 days since I saw the last recording. Let's see what happens here. Literally the whole day, I was glued to this chair, taking a piss maybe 2 times total in the entire day, and then eating something, and then that was like it. Like I was literally running on fumes by the end because I had just neglected to eat. Like I was on pure hyper focus mode. Like I really just wanted to finish and like complete it. For this video, I wanted to make animations, bring the animations to Unreal, and apply them. Those were this was the core pillars of what this video was supposed to be. I got really stuck on point or pillar number 2, which was I already forgot, but you get what I'm trying to say. The 26 hours that I spent trying to figure this out, I just didn't want to end the recording until I did. And unfortunately, I couldn't. Literally the entire day I spent looking at this blueprint screen. Like, I learned all the ins and outs that you could possibly learn for blueprints. And I'm sure I'm still missing plenty of knowledge. Like, I'm not saying that I learned everything, but I definitely learned a lot. Like, I understand blueprints way more now, and I understand like the flow of them and the executions of them. A couple times I was like genuinely making my own flowcharts, and I was essentially like experimenting and building on my own instead of relying on things like ChatGPT or like forums online and stuff like that. I just genuinely like figured that shit out. So that was really satisfying, but by the end of the 26 hours, I was not feeling it.
Welcome back. Let me get the microphone closed. I fucked up all my audio because I didn't have the microphone closed for all the other clips, so I apologize for that. But for this clip, I think guys, I actually finally figured it out. Right, this is what we did like 2 episodes ago or last episode. I don't really remember. But this is essentially how we cause damage to an enemy. Inside that function, I know you. Hey, wake up! Hold on, stick with me, bro. I promise. This is really interesting. This is really interesting, bro. Watch.
I just could not figure out what was going wrong. I got to this point where I put a print string, which is basically like a debugging method where if the execution node activates, it prints out like text on the screen when you go to test it out. So I had these little debug print strings everywhere, literally every single node. I put a print string to try and figure out what was causing the problem, because the health would just not go down, or the enemy would just not react, or essentially I managed to go backwards. And this was what was really frustrating for me, is that before I did all the animations at the end of the last episode, I got it so that, you know, particles came out and the enemy would die right after doing damage and running out of health. Like, that was where I ended the last episode. And by the middle of this episode, it wasn't doing any of those things. Like, the particle system disappeared at one point, and there was this one point where I got everything to kind of work, but then the animations kept getting stuck. And like, dude, it was frustrating, but also very like challenging in a fun way. Like, I think if it was like genuinely frustrating for me, I probably would have just stopped. But because like I knew that I could fix it, and I knew it was something that I needed to do and wanted to do, like, and you can't exactly just like give up and move on to another part of the game, because either way, eventually you're gonna have to fix the bug or whatever the problem is. So that brings us to day number 4.
Ready to finish this once and for all, bro. I feel it. I'm close, y'all. I'm really close. I really feel it. So let's just get back in.
Now day 4 is where finally some progress is actually made. I discovered a couple things on this day. For one, I finally learned how to use the value print strings. This is how I discovered that every time I would click the enemy, it would actually take away 20 health, but then it would go right back to 100. And this was the key. This opened up everything for me, because now I'm finally understanding, like, wait, so the damage system is actually working. The problem is just that something is being reset. You know, going with the continuation of the last 3 episodes of this, you would probably know that every time I've had a problem, the solution was very simple. Like the last time I just had to like multiply something, or the other time I think it was just like connecting one to another one. This time, it was me not realizing that I had the subtraction reversed. That was it. Bruh.
My God.
This is something that I literally, at one point, I vividly remember looking at the subtraction node and being like, damn, like, I wonder if maybe the order of the execution pins, like which one goes into which spot, actually matters. But I figured like, oh, well, it doesn't matter for like anything else, so why would it matter here? Wow. What a mistake that was, because if I had just done that, I would have saved myself hours of debugging. But hey, you live and you learn. And then I also realized at this point that it going to 0 wasn't killing the enemy. So we fixed one problem, but now there's another one, as you know, as these things go. And man, honestly, like, so many things happened and so many things I had to fix that this like section where I'm just kind of talking and like remembering and like telling you guys like a summed up version of the process might be a little bit more vague than it actually was, or like I'm not really remembering everything and I can't be super detailed because genuinely I have 30 hours of footage. This took several days. Usually these sessions are a one and done. You know, both of the last episodes I did in 8 hours, and this one is literally that times 4, kind of 3 maybe, I don't know.
And I'm about to go in here and test it out. This could just not work, and you might not even see this. So hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully you are watching right now. Hello. But I should be able to play, right? As you can see, I am casting my line traces. That is the damage that whatever. And as you can see, he's doing his idle animation. Now I forgot to fix the animation issues. Like the animation flow I think is still messed up, but he should react to a right hand punch if I click here. Fuck. Okay, that's left. He's not. God damn it.
But that took way longer than it needed to, and even though by the end it wasn't perfect, like as you could see, like sometimes you click it and it doesn't go left or it doesn't choose the right way. I still have to fix that kind of stuff. And also, I haven't even implemented the player animations yet of holding your fist up and throwing punches. This was all just for the enemy. But at least I think that the player animations might be a little easier. I hope. I'm hoping and I'm praying that it's a little easier.
Oh, I don't know. Probably not, actually. Oh, but you see, this one worked, though. See, that one is actually working.
With all that being said, even though the ending wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, at least we got there. I fixed every single one of the main problems. The enemies are back to dying. Their particle systems are working. They are showing animations. I managed to put the animations in Unreal. I made the animations myself. And honestly, like, that's successful. I think this is a good success story. But yeah, I'm sorry this one took so long to get out. The next ones should be a lot easier. I'll try to choose a little bit of a smaller goal each time instead of like a 3-step entire like pipeline of things I need to do. So yeah, that was all 4 of these days put into one little video for you guys to watch. I enjoyed it so much. Like, this was genuinely so fun, even though it looked like I was, you know, contemplating you know, offing myself a couple times. It literally, like, even by the end of the 22 hours that I spent on day 3, when I went outside to decompress, I was with a smile on my face. Like, I thought it was just genuinely so fun to try and figure this all out. It was so challenging, but also so interesting, and like I said, like, hyper focus mode activated, and I genuinely just enjoyed the whole process so much. But with all that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. You know, it's a lot longer than usual. I'll try to keep the next ones kind of short, but I hope you guys enjoyed anyways. You know, enjoyed seeing this, how this all came to be, and I'm looking forward to making the next one. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.